I sensed at the instant I stepped through the door. It wasn't just the faint laughter drifting from down the hallway. It wasn't only the muffled shuffle of quick footsteps, the hushed rustle of bodies pressed too close. It was a silence that followed, a thick, guilty stillness that only happens when someone's been caught. "Emily!" My voice cracked as I dropped my keys on the table. For a heartbeat, I prayed I was wrong. Maybe she'd invited a friend over. Maybe the sound was just the TV upstairs. But deep down, I already knew. My gut had been warning me for weeks. Unanswered calls, late nights at the office, a smile that no longer reached her eyes. I climbed the stairs slowly, each step heavy, as though it was dragging me further from the life I thought I knew. Then I saw it. Our bedroom door not completely shut. Light spilled through the narrow gap. A soft exhale, one that wasn't hers. I pushed the door open. And there she was, my wife, my Emily, tangled in the sheets that had once meant safety, comfort, home. Beside her lay a man I didn't recognize. But the way his hand rested on her hip told me everything. Her eyes went wide when she saw me, lips parting like she wanted to speak. But there are no words of betrayal spread across silk sheets. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I didn't even cry. I just stood there, staring at the fragments of my life that would never fit back together again. Then I turned and walked away. That was the night everything ended. The night I left. I didn't pack a bag. I didn't take a picture or a shirt or even my toothbrush. I left with nothing but my phone and my wallet, slamming the door on 10 years of marriage. Outside, the night was eerily calm. The stars glittered above as though nothing had changed, as though my world hadn't just collapsed beneath me. I drove with no destination, the road stretching endlessly ahead. At some point, I stopped at a gas station and stared at myself in the cracked bathroom mirror. My face looked hollow, my eyes wide and lost. Who was I now without her? The man who believed in her? The husband who trusted her? All that remained was a hollow shell, wearing a wedding band, that suddenly burned against my skin. I slipped it off and left on the sink. I didn't go back home. Not that night. Not ever. The year that followed vanished quietly. Not in the dramatic, fake-your-own-death way, but in the quiet, painful way that hurts more. I stopped answering calls. Deleted social media. Quit my job. Moved 3 states away. I found work at a small auto shop, repairing engines instead of hearts. My boss never asked questions, and I never gave answers. At night, I lay awake in a dingy one-bedroom apartment, listening to the fridge hum, replaying that moment over and over, her eyes full of guilt, that stranger's hand on her hip, the silence that trailed me out the door. Sometimes I thought about calling her. Sometimes I imagined what she might say, apologies, excuses, maybe even tears. But then I'd remember the sheets, and the thought would die. I told myself I was healing, but in truth, I was hiding, shrinking my life so nothing could wound me again, until the day she found me. It was a Saturday afternoon when my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. Normally I would have ignored it, but something in me whispered, "Pick up, hello." A pause, then her voice, "Daniel." My stomach dropped. A year of silence shattered with a single word. "Emily," I whispered, my throat tightening. "I know you don't want to hear from me," she said, "but I had to call. Please don't hang up." I should have. Every part of me screamed to hang up, to protect myself. But curiosity, the cruelest instinct, kept me there. "What do you want?" Another pause, heavier this time. Then she said it, the words I'd imagined but never truly expected. "I made a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life." She told me everything, her voice trembling through the static. The man in our bed was a co-worker, someone she swore had meant nothing. It started with flirting, turned into dinners, then spiraled into something she thought was excitement, but it was really destruction. "He left me," she said softly. "He used me. And when you walked away, I realized I'd lost everything that mattered. You were everything, Daniel. You always were." Her confession should have soothed me, but it only cut deeper. Because suddenly I saw the truth, not just about her betrayal, but about myself. For a year, I'd been living in her shadow, waiting for closure. And here it was, raw and broken. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I know it's too late, but I had to tell you." I laughed bitterly, the sound for in my throat. "Too late, Emily. You destroyed me. Do you know what it's like to walk away from your whole life in one night? To wonder if you were ever loved at all?" "I did love you," she cried. "I still do. But love isn't enough when trust is gone." "Why now?" I asked. "Why after a year?" "Because I can't live with myself anymore," she said. "Because every day I wake up wishing I could go back, wishing I could stop myself that night. I thought he was exciting, that he made me feel alive. But it was you, Daniel. It was always you." Her words hung heavy, but they didn't heal. They only tore open wounds I tried so hard to stitch closed. "You think an apology erases it?" I asked. "That telling me now changes what you did?" "No," she admitted. "But maybe it gives you the truth. Maybe it lets you see that I was weak, not that you weren't enough." Those words landed differently. For a year, I blamed myself. Maybe I wasn't attractive enough, successful enough, exciting enough. But hearing her admit it wasn't about me was like a crack of light in the darkness. Still, forgiveness wasn't mine to give. "I can't come back," I said finally. "Not to you, not to that life." "I know," she whispered. I needed you to hear it, to know you weren't the problem. When the call ended, I sat in silence, staring at the grease-stained walls of my apartment. For the first time in a year, I felt both shattered and free. Her confession didn't fix me, but it untangled the knots I'd been carrying. It wasn't closure the way I'd imagined. It was harsher, messier, but it was real. That night, I walked to the small pier by the lake near my apartment. The water lay still, reflecting the stars like shards of glass. I thought about the man I used to be, the husband who trusted, who loved without fear. That man was gone, but maybe, just maybe, someone new could rise from the ashes. I didn't forgive her. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I forgave myself for staying too long, for walking out without a word, for hiding from life. As the night stretched on, I whispered into the stillness, "I'm done running." And for the first time in a year, I meant it.